Next question, how do international students qualify for training at Aerostar?
Well, Aerostar has been a great organization for me because it allows me to share my passion for this industry. And I have a real passion for teaching. That's what got me interested in starting the school. So I'm very proud of the fact that I'm directly hands-on and involved with a lot of the training on the Airbus side. And I certainly am involved in trying to help support the training that goes on the Boeing side. I think for international students, you know, one of the challenges, of course, is they've still got to learn how to fly the airplane. Everything's going to be the same. But the second language, English and technical English, I think presents a little bit of a little bit more challenge for them. So you need to have that English proficiency down, because you don't want to have to be thinking about translating words while you're trying to fly the airplane. Mm-hmm. And as far as getting qualified to come into the United States, there's all kinds of resources available. FAA.gov, you can go on that site and find out everything you need to know about converting your licenses, or you can simply call. Elizabeth and myself, we provide a lot of career mentoring to individuals that may never come to us for a type rating, but we still take a lot of pride and we help them find a kind of a direction. So foreign students, absolutely, this is the greatest place to train, in my opinion. It's English immersion. All the controllers speak English, wide open airspaces, low cost of renting aircraft, relatively speaking. I still think it's outrageous, but compared to industry or globally, it's still low cost. I think the U.S. is a great place to train, and I think Aerostar really is a great place to go to finishing school, to grad school, if you will, and add your type rating before you go home and seek out that airline job.
Right. Let me back up and just say, let's kind of separate this out and say international students for ab initio training. And I know you were just kind of talking about international students for finishing school or your graduate degree or your type rating. Do you want to maybe back up and talk a little bit about some of the opportunities for ab initio training? Is it a good choice to come to the U.S. for your complete flight education, or should people start where they are and then come here for their type rating?
Well, I mean, it's going to depend on the individual, but I'm a little biased, and I'm going to say I think the U.S. offers the best training opportunities for ab initio. You know, that I believe that's a Latin root word that says from the beginning. Right. And so if you're zero time and you want to go from zero time to completing a commercial multi-engine instrument and an aircraft type rating, there are some tremendous schools here in the U.S. That are positioned not only to help you with that, to provide you with room and board, to provide you with all the testing services and the English immersion that I think is so critical to your success. And if I could, I'll name a couple schools that we've worked with. We've worked with Florida Institute of Technology, FIT, in Melbourne, Florida. We've worked with Cochise College in Douglas, Arizona. Here's a school. It's in the middle of the desert in Arizona. There's no distractions. The runway is right next to the dormitories, so you literally walk from your dorms to your cafeteria to your classrooms to the flight line. You go fly your training sessions and walk back to your dorm. I think that's just an ideal situation for learning how to fly and really doing it in minimal time with minimal distractions to get you out there and get that seniority number as quick as possible. Right.
That's fantastic. And I know in Arizona they have like 364 perfect days a year, isn't that, you know, so I mean they have no weathered out days.
Hey Dave, I've got a lot of questions coming in, but one of them I just now got to and realized it should have been asked a slide or two back. But if a person starts in what's left of 2014 and goes through all the appropriate stuff and given everything works right, the question is, at what year would you be making roughly $100K a year?
That's a great question, John, and I think it's really going to depend on the region of the country and the level of dedication to do what it takes to get that job. But let's say that flight school, if you commit yourself full-time to going to an ab initio flight school like the one we mentioned at Cochise College, you're going to be done with your commercial multi-engine instrument type rating in under 12 months. Okay, now you're going to want to try to go offshore if you're looking for Airbus, Boeing experience. If you take a 2 to 3 year contract offshore, you're not going to make bad money, by the way, doing that. You'll be back here probably 4 years downstream. You'll be ready to enter a legacy or a airline that, you know, flying Airbuses and Boeing equipment. The entry-level pay, don't quote me on this, I think it's somewhere around the $60,000 mark, depending on what airline you go to. And by your third year in the airline, depending on your work habits, you're at a six-figure income.